When you want to build a carbon neutral network, it's very important to know which regulations apply to you or will apply to you based on how much you plan to grow, which countries you plan to go to, as these will all impact the structure of how you measure your footprint, the processes that you build up, the ways you might reduce your footprint on the long run, as well as how do you interact with your suppliers. So knowing the legal ground and requirements of what it means to be carbon neutral is really important and crucial. Knowing the timeline is also very important, as this will define the urgency of the steps that you need to take. For example, which suppliers do you work with? How do you structure things? Do you automate your footprint measurements? And also which carbon credits you will purchase.
I think when you do this from the ground on a green field, you first have to look at the big picture. So before you think about, okay, what router do I buy or cable or software supplier I choose, you have to think about how do I do this, and how do I make sure that at the end I'm able to track my efforts. So how do I track all the emissions? What types of standards do I set from day one for my partners and suppliers and also customers? And what is also the goal that I want to achieve? Because building a carbon neutral network can be achieved in multiple different ways. And you can do this from a short-term point of view. You can think this long-term. So for Interlink, to give you an example, this was from day one a long-term goal for us to not just build this carbon neutral, but also to run it carbon neutral, and also being able to consistently and continuously report its carbon neutrality. And I think this is the first step in the process. And this is when you then start deriving from that, who are the suppliers that you work with? What routers do you buy? What cables do you buy? Which suppliers do you choose for your data centers and for your software services that you consume? So I think it's a much bigger process, and also one of the reasons why enterprises and companies struggle so much to implement this on a long-term basis when they have not built it into the foundation and the strategy of the company.